Hey folks, Clyde Lindsay here at Leechburg Lights. Thanks for taking the time to check out the video today. Today's video is on Xlights, and before we get started, let's go to xlights.org, and that's not xlights.org.
The next generation of...
We'll try this again. We'll go to xlights.org, and maybe we'll go to the right page this time. And make sure you're downloading the most recent version of Xlights. Today is June 6th, as you can see on my screen, June 6, 2017. And I'm going to download today's most recent video. I'm going to hit the download button, and I'm going to click on, now this is a 64-bit version of Xlights. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to save that file, but I'm also going to stay on this download screen, and I'm going to click on the Queen Mary Vamp plugin installer for the 64-bit version. Now, if you don't know whether your processor is a 64-bit or a 32-bit, here's a little hint. If you have around 2, possibly 4 gigs of RAM in your computer, then possibly you have a 32-bit operating system. You can go into Windows real quickly. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. We'll go to Desktop. And we'll just go scroll down here. This is my Windows 8 folder here. Well, let's go to Lenovo D drive. Right click and let's go to Properties. And if you go into your computer properties, whoops, wrong properties. This PC, that's what I'm looking for. Ha. So right click on this PC, go to Properties. This is Windows 10, by the way. And you'll get this information or settings screen, system settings. Now what you see here is you see I have an i7 4710HQ, which is a 2.5 gigahertz processor. It is a 64-bit operating system for Windows, and I'm running 8 gigs of RAM. I believe this laptop can actually be updated to 16 gigs of RAM. I don't know, it's a pretty high-end thing, and I paid a lot of money for it, and I hardly ever use it because I love my desktop, which is at 32 gigs of RAM and has 8 cores. So with that in mind, all for the idea of we're doing a 64-bit version of Windows. I have the 64-bit version of the Queen Mary Vamp plugins, and my hat's off. Thank you so much to Gil and Keith for getting everything set up so that we could run a 64-bit version, which can obviously control a significantly larger display thanks to the millions of P10 panels and the P10 craze that is hitting everybody in the lighting community at the moment. So without any further ado, I believe we've downloaded both of these. Let's go to my download page. We just got Xlights. And we're on version 14, 2017.14, and we're going to go ahead and click on the 64-bit version. The 32-bit version runs just fine. If you don't know what you have, if you can't figure out how to go to that setup screen to see which your operating system is 32 or 64-bit, then just stick with the 32-bit. It's really, if you're just starting out, this is really not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead, open up the folder, and I'm going to double click and download the latest and greatest Xlights and get it loaded and installed. Now you always get this here pop up on the screen because nobody knows of the Xlights publisher known as Sean Meehan. Well, we do, but Microsoft doesn't. So we're going to just go into and leave this as our defaults, and I'm going to install it. This should only take a few moments. Pretty quick. And now that we're done, we should be able to pop it right open. It should come right up. Okay, well, that was a spoiler. Maybe it froze. There it is. Now we'll go ahead and finish. It'll launch automatically, and it'll load the notepad, the README, and so forth. And we should see Xlights pop up here pretty soon. Now you can see we're at the May 17th, 2017. Which there's the newer version. I think this is the production release. I did the production release, not the beta. So we're at 15. It was just uploaded yesterday. So we'll just go with the 2017 anyway, with the 14 version. And so now the next thing we need to do is we need to go and install the next component of our download, which is our Queen Mary Vamp plugin. Now I'm going to click on this and it should automatically start the download. It says Windows going to protect your PC. Once again, this file has been manipulated by Xlights crew, and I'm going to click on more information. It won't let me run it because it's not a verified publisher for Microsoft, and so we're just going to run it anyway. And go ahead and say yes. And what the Queen Mary Vamp plugin does is some really amazing things. Once we get in here, I wanted to do a fresh install of both systems. And I'm just going to go ahead and click yes. It says this Vamp plugin folder already exists. Do you want to overwrite it? Yes, I do. We'll just click next, install, and this is a very short, small, simple process. Except on my computer, which has a Core i7 and 2 cores that should be running at 2 point something gigs. There we go. So we're finished. The other thing I'd like to mention while we're here is whenever you're on the Xlights homepage, go ahead and scroll down just a little bit, and I want you to click here on the donate button, and please, please, please feel free to make any kind of donation, whether it be $5, whether it be $10. There is a lot of software out there right now that is not even half of the ability that Xlights currently is, with all of the developers really working on doing things that all of us really enjoy, adding in the new benefits and the new things. You know, let's face facts. It costs money to house Xlights online, and a lot of us do support in our own way. I love making videos, but if you could please make a donation to Xlights, that would really make me happy. So from here, let's just close up, clean up the screen here, and I've got a messy desktop. Someday I'm going to organize it. But let's just go back into Xlights. Now, what does the Queen Mary Vamp plugin do? Question mark. Okay, well, what the Queen Mary Vamp plugin does is when we create a new sequence, let's go ahead and open one. We'll do a musical sequence. The Queen Mary Vamp plugin is wonderful. See, we can take any one of our songs, any music MP3, and open it up and select a frame rate. And then let's go over here to timings. Yeah, let's go to timings. And then we get this timing grids box. Let's go ahead and click on new. And then when you click down here, notice the distance, the width of this is much longer after you install the Queen Mary Vamp plugin. If you don't have the plugin, it's really small, and you only have 4 options here: the 50, 100, metronome, and the empty. But whenever you add the Queen Mary Vamp plugin install, you can add in all of these other important tracks, that timing tracks that are available. Now, when you have songs that are very much regimented and use a metronome or a timing device to keep timing for the artist while they perform the song, such as Trans-Siberian Orchestra songs like Wizards of Winter, there's a timing track, a click track that they can hear in their ear as they're playing the music, and that way that keeps them all on the same time. It's like having a conductor in the front. However, there is some music that you will from time to time become familiar with. Maybe songs from, say, like the Phantom of the Opera, or where you have orchestrated music which speeds up and slows down and is not consistent through the song. And where there are pauses in the music and so forth. I have a lot of examples, such as Music of the Night from the Phantom of the Opera is a wonderful example. It slows down, it speeds up, it changes the pace throughout the song. And using these different trackers, these different beats and bars trackers, it's going to be a little harder because the Vamp plugin doesn't do a very good job at alternating, at finding the beats. It can find them, but then after a while it can't find them. So it may not be 100% on songs that are orchestrated music. With that long explanation out of the way, let's finally do something with Xlights and these timing tracks. So when we click on beats, what this is going to do with this particular song, it's going to find pretty much all the beats. It's going to process the audio, and then whenever you have the audio saved in there, you can come in here. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and you can see all of these timing marks. Let's go ahead and activate it, and you can see all of the timing marks have popped in there where we can see that they're useful. Now, if you notice, this song has a very prevalent beat mark, and if we zoom in, you can see there's a beat there, there's a beat, There's the beginning of a beat. There's a sound bite there. There's a sound bite there. So it looks like these beats are right on the money. And like I said, with this timing track and with the click track that the artist uses to keep the song up, you can tell very clearly. You can tell very clearly that this beat track is set up perfectly for your uses for getting to the beat. So if you were doing, I don't know, I don't have any models loaded in here. This wasn't exactly kind of planned. If we had different colors, we changed the color of the on effect. Let's go ahead and do that, and let's do on. Oop, that's interesting. I didn't know it did that. Let's get rid of that. See if we can do that. We entered a label with the on effect. That's interesting. Wonder what happens whenever you push the M for morph. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, enough playing around with Xlights, and let's play with Xlights. Let's go back in here and let's do the on effect there. So we should just have a single line. This is a 500 pixel model of pixels, and so basically the beat tracker in the Vampire plugin is most helpful when you're trying to find the beat. Let's go through a couple of these other ones. Go over here to this cog. This is the settings cog, I like to call it, sequence settings, and go to the timings, and this is where you can add in more. So if we select the drop down, and we can go into other ones that I like. The note onset one is particularly helpful, though I may not use it to sequence much, but I like to use the note onset to find the beginnings or the interesting parts of a song. And it doesn't mean that that whole area, let me scroll over. I'm using my mouse pad on my laptop. I don't care for it very much, but you know, it does the job. So right now we have the notes onset, and we have it set up so that it can go any of these beats here. So let's see what it does. Anywhere that there is physically an activity starting, like the start of a note, it'll give you like a finite note. You can see right here, this might be the beat tab right here, the beat where the beat starts. Well, this here is where an actual note physically starts, or a note event, something that's kind of big. Let's just hit the on button for a couple of these. And I won't do it for all of them. I really miss the mouse whenever it comes to this. And what if I just use the F button for fade? No, not F. W. Whoops. Shortcut key is, I think it's a W. Nope. It is color fade, but let's pick two colors. How about that? W. There we go. There we go. That did it. That did it. W. W. Okay, so let's just play through that and see what that does. So what is nice about the note onset is there are different parts of the song where maybe you hear like the speaker of the song, the singer begins singing, and it might indicate the beginning of a note, and that way it helps you kind of find it a little bit easier. So let's go back through and look at another one. Oop, timings, and go to new, and we have we did the note onset, the polyphonic transcription. Now, if we go to polyphonic transcription, this polyphonic transcription, actually, you probably want to do a Google search on this because it's really interesting, and this takes a little while, so I'll explain it. Polyphonic transcription can become unstable when using with some aspects of sequencing, but it's not that you use the polyphonic to sequence with, rather you use it to find, just like the note onset, some pretty interesting timing areas. I don't use it to sequence with because it's not really helpful. See, whenever I click on here, it will create a place for me to lay down an effect. But if I click here, it looks like there should be an effect here, but notice there's no joining line in the timing tracks. And the other thing is that each one of these timings, this represents a physical note in the song. Polyphonic transcription, by definition, means that it's the extraction of every individual note that is possible at this exact moment in time for this area of music. So when we talk about polyphonic transcription, you have a range of notes that are being played, like a chord, like a C chord or a G chord or an F minor or an A minor or an A major chord. And what it does is it figures out this information for you. Now, where polyphonic transcription comes in really handy is this, the piano effect. Whenever you use the piano effect, you actually have to use the polyphonic transcription. And if you have the polyphonic transcription, you can do import notes. And if you right-click over top of that, you can, whenever you right-click over top of that and select Import Notes, you're actually naming another timing line, and you're adding a note source, the Audacity timing file. We'll actually use the timing track Polyphonic Transcription. This is where polyphonic transcription is known to be unstable and can cause Xlights to crash. We'll click OK, and we're going to click OK here. Now, what the transcription is doing now is it's turning all of these individual timings right here, all of these little timings, into physical notes, and it will create a note track. And when you use this, and this does take a little while, when you physically make the, whenever you physically use the piano effect, which maybe we'll do in another video, that creates the the location in which the piano will go look for the notes to be played for that particular moment in the song. This is a very interesting and fun, there we go. This is a very interesting and fun exercise to have going on. And one that requires the use of another video to explain the full extent of the piano effect, which I will do it at a later date. But I just wanted to keep it simple so that you could see some of the three basic timing tracks that I use consistently through all of my sequencing. The beats, the note onset, and the polyphonics. If there were one other one that I use a lot of, that would be the final one that I'll do today, and that is the timings of bars. And now we see the polyphonics does create an unstable environment, but once polyphonics is actually loaded, it becomes more stable after you're done using it. So let's I don't know if we were able to save that. We didn't even save it. We had a So we lost it. Oh well, we lost it. So let's go ahead and create a new sequence, and I'll take you through the very last one, which is bars. Let's go 200 frames per second. We can go to timings here, and we can click New, and we can click on the bars tracker, beat and bars tracker. And if you click OK, once again, it scans the audio and it finds a bar. Now, what a bar is depending on the timing. If you're a musically inclined person, meaning you play an instrument or you understand what written music is and you've had a little bit of background with music, music comes in many timings: 3/4 timing, 4/4 timing, 6/4 timing, 4/8 timing. There's a bunch of them, and the most common one that we're familiar with today are 3/4 timing and 4/4 timing. Well, a bar is nothing more than a set of notes put together for that timing period. So when we click Done here, we can see that bars is, and I'm gonna go do the beats too. It's not on every beat. In this case, Holly Jolly Christmas is a 4 beats per measure, and what we have is a bar or a measure of music. So there's actually within this period 4 beats, and we'll prove that by going back into the settings cog, going to timings, and we'll go ahead and click on New and Beats, which is the beat tracker right there. Click OK, and click OK again. And we'll go ahead and click Done. And as you can see, here is, and they're labeled for you. That's what's nice about the Vamp plugins. They labeled each of these for you. So you've got the first measure here, the second measure, the third measure, and the fourth measure. There are many instances where this is extremely helpful whenever you're trying to figure out how to make your arches bounce and using the single strand effect. I really like these two as my major sequencing. And of course, as I said before, I really also like the polyphonic transcription, which is here, polyphonics, and I also like the note onsets. I usually just use the note onsets with the standard defaults. I don't change any settings. The same thing with polyphonics. So folks, I just want to wrap up the video now. I really appreciate you taking the chance to look at this video. Like the video if you like the video. If you hated the video, then dislike the video and tell me in the comments below what you really think. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care, and I hope to make a couple more videos soon.